What is going on YouTube? Hayden here, and in today's episode, we are going to be looking at XRP, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, VONG, which is the Russell 1000, and the S&P 500. So my assumption and theory is slowly starting to come true. We left off on Friday talking about how I'm pretty much finding XRP's next breakout, and it's pretty much any moment now. And you can see over the weekend, we had a lot of movement here, which is quite exciting if you ask me. Now, we kind of figured we were due for correction here quite a long time ago. We were kind of leaning on the edge of a reversal, a swing to the downside, because every single cryptocurrency was showing signs of bearish tendency. We're kind of either direction, if that makes sense here. For example, looking at Solana just briefly here, we were tracking this beautiful ascending fractal, and as we said several times now, that how we enter is typically how we exit. And the first time we saw this pattern, we broke bearish, which was typical. The second time we saw the pattern, we broke bearish again. History repeating itself. Well, here we are forming a third one. We knew that once we confirm closure below support, we would break bearish, and here we are now forming it again. This is number 3 where we see this correction take place here. It was very obvious. It was not a surprise at all. Shocker drop to the downside here, and we can now just slightly adjust this to include that, just to make this line make more sense. So I'll show you again. You can see how we had it a little too high up, just pulled it down a hair, and now it is accurate here. Inside the descending fractal here, XRP had its break to the downside here. Very similar. How we enter is how we exit. We kind of fell into this one consolidating up, and we said it's going to be very simple. Follow the uptrend, follow the downtrend. Unfortunately, this happened, or it closed Friday night, and then Saturday into Sunday, and now into Monday. Today, we're starting to see this correction. So Friday night was a very big trade for us. You could see once we confirmed closure right below our beautiful uptrend that we had in blue, it was a very easy short to the downside here. Extremely easy. Of course, I wasn't paying attention, but I pretty much left this on the table for you guys on Friday here. I was too busy over the weekend to be paying attention to this market right here, but this was a very easy short opportunity, as that's how I left it for you guys to take advantage of it on Friday morning when we made our update here. So this is an easy drop to the downside here. Then moving forward to Ethereum here, forming its ascending broadening wedge. We also said, hey, with something like this, it's kind of textbook that we see correction, and what do you know? You see this beautiful ascending broadening wedge, we break down from it. Then you go to Bitcoin, beautiful symmetrical triangle filling in the gap, confirm closure below here, back down a moving average. And it also inlines very well with VONG and the S&P. As we said earlier, we kind of figured in theory we would be seeing correction because we were nearing overbought on VONG, the Russell 1000, and we also knew that we were going to start to see closure below here. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That is it. That lots of things that we're going to have to go over in today's video. But with that being said, smash that like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's get right into today's episode. So guys, as you can see with the coin market cap here, 37 on the fear and greed. We look nice. We're seeing a lot of healthy pullback and healthy correction to the downside here. Now, maybe a lot of you guys are going to correlate with what happened over the weekend, the current events with the president and what they did. Now, I don't think that is going to play a factor just yet. As far as the stock market is looking and crypto, we are correcting, and we were kind of anticipating this correction many days prior to this happening here. I don't think the events that are happening right now have an effect just yet. We haven't seen mass manipulation just yet for me to say, oh yeah, that was definitely an outlier that caused the markets to dip here. But we haven't really seen a major correction here is my point. 37 on the fear and greed looks phenomenal. The more we go lower, the more chances we have to eventually being able to rebound. This is healthy consolidation, if you ask me. Bitcoin is sliding a bit lower here. Ethereum sliding a bit lower here. Some of these cryptos are pretty much consolidating for the most part, but you can see like just a hair. Just today did we open up and start to see just a small dip in the markets here that have pulled us to the downside. But otherwise, we look phenomenal if you ask me. And then you jump to like XRP and these other cryptos, and it makes sense why we see this correction here. It was not a surprise by any means. We have been talking about expecting to see this correction for days now. You can see we had a beautiful, massive consolidative pattern here. And FYI, you guys have been doubting me that there's been this massive head and shoulders pattern on here. Well, what else would you like to call it? Check it out. We're literally retesting the neckline as we speak. I very much so believe we are still in a head and shoulders pattern. Here's the first head, or here's the first shoulder, the left shoulder, the head, and here's the right shoulder nearing completion as we speak. And now we have broken bearish from what could have been a bull run. You can see a bull trap or a bull flag. as we consolidated lower here, and instead of breaking through the moving average and the downtrend, we broke through the floor here and have now catapulted to the downside, rejected and corrected and fell all the way to the downside here, holding on for dear life on this support here. As head and shoulders patterns always show, this is kind of like the last chance we have of possibly breaching out of it. You can see we are now currently retesting that neckline here, and if we breach that neckline, we are going to see a very, very, very massive correction. You can see what this would look like on here. Here's the head and shoulders pattern here. We're getting very close to retesting that neckline, and that is exactly what we are currently doing right now on XRP. It is a very obvious head and shoulders, and it really comes down to how we react with this. There's several days left that we could consolidate into here easily. What we're talking like 3 weeks. The likelihood of that is slim, but is a very big possibility. We could see this. So I don't want to say it's too slim, but had we have closed yesterday below support, which was very close, we would have seen a major, and I mean a massive sell-off here. So it's good news that we didn't do that, but we are not in any good situation or scenario here. Good chance we'll see a short-term rebound. I think we actually will consolidate, fill this in a bit, and then expect to see this drop, but unless we breach this yellow resistance here, we are getting dangerously close to seeing that drop. This was not a surprise. This was a very easy trade for those that took advantage of it. And I know, because I can see some of your guys' trades, that you made out huge with tons of profit off this last weekend's trade here, this movement here. It was a huge sell-off to the downside. So this was a phenomenal short opportunity. You'd be able to make just a little bit of profit, but profit nonetheless here, buying in right here, and either making a 5 to 10% trade easily, and with leverage, that could be phenomenal here. But this is a very easy textbook, like guaranteed position. As I always say, wait for confirmation closure. We did. That would have been the buy-in opportunity, and then the short would have happened, 5 to 10%. Phenomenal correction here. So I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are excited too. But now that we've confirmed closure here, we're looking at a reversal doji, and we could easily see a rebound up. So if you missed out on last night or last weekend's correction here, you might have the ability to buy in for a long position right now, which is very exciting if you ask me, to the upside here. So keep your eyes peeled on that as we start to consolidate this out here. We'll do all these trades on BITUNIX, the #1 cryptocurrency leveraging exchange that I like to use here on the channel. If things go well today with this reversal candle, there's a good chance we can buy in and long. If not, and we start to close below support right here, we will buy in and short. But probably within today or tomorrow, we'll know the answer to that here. Take profits if you entered the previous trade. But we'll do all these trades on BITUNIX, which I linked down in the description below. They just closed up their deal, their promo, but they do have the reward center where you can earn up to $8,100 in free bonus cryptocurrency here. They gives out daily rewards every day, exclusive rewards, and hot rewards, which is excellent. And then they even have a demo trading account, which gives you $50,000 in demo money to get familiar with the exchange, practice your trades, learn how the exchange works, and then when you're ready, you can click live trade, head on over here and start making profitable trades or whatever trades on here using that bonus money that you've accumulated. So whatever you earn off bonus money, you can withdraw completely free. So it's a great way, I call it like exchange arbitrage, to profit off the exchange's money and you don't have any risk. So it's pretty awesome if you ask me, but good chance we could expect to see rebound. Let's see how these close. Just like what we're seeing on Solana here. Again, very obvious. Once we confirm closure on the 4-hour below this support right here, we knew this was a solid short opportunity. We could move it down. I don't think it's, yeah, we could. And you can see once we confirm that right here, this is a very obvious short to the downside here. Now we're becoming oversold. So a rebound like we're seeing here is what's expected. I'm hoping to see that on XRP, if not already, which was that. Probably the 4-hour would have shown that. You can see the small little rebound right there, but there's now potential for a higher uptick, which is exciting if we end like this on both these cryptos. We could easily start to see our recovery right now. Ethereum had a major sell-off down a moving average, but again, we confirmed closure right below here. The dip was expected and anticipated and not a surprise by any means. Bitcoin too, confirmed closure below here. Huge short opportunity. VONG, you can see, is opening up lower. We've traded out of here. My goal and hope is that we trade on here. Like I've drawn right here, the goal is that we consolidate in this, build up some steam, and then rally up. Similar to what we had here, except we'll end with a major breakout since there is much more upside now than when we were over here last time. So let the consolidation take place. We'll see how the presidency and what that current events has an effect on here. Hopefully we don't drop. It's possible, but hopefully we don't. And if that's the case, then we'll consolidate here. And then ideally, we'll probably rally out on both stock market and Vong, and it'll pull the cryptocurrencies with it. But that's it for today's video. Smash that like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.